All right, welcome to another episode of Showroom. We are here live from the Niftmint studios in Seattle, Washington, and Aaron is offsite somewhere in the islands in the Puget Sound. How you doing, Aaron?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. There's been a lot of great things that have been happening in the world of commerce, and I'm excited to go over them and talk about them. And yeah, for those who are new to the show, Showroom is presented by Niftmint, and what we do at Showroom is we talk about commerce, retail, brand, on the innovation side, technology, business, growth, and just all the kind of consumer trends that are happening in culture as well. So really
Yes.
excited for today. Last week we had a whole series of things that we talked about, everything from mustard to what we do at Niftmint to stable coins for brands to Coca-Cola. And this week we got some other great things. So let's just go ahead and get right into it and talk about Black Friday.
Yes.
So Black Friday 2024, that was just last week, just a couple days ago, and we got some trends and some things to talk about. Aaron, kick us off.
Yes, we do. So all the numbers haven't come out yet, but overall, it's been a successful Black Friday for the country. Approximately 75 billion in sales. That includes online and in store. It's up about 5% from last year. There are some final numbers coming through. This is actually being updated daily because sales are still being accounted for.
Yeah,
And
so it's
globally,
yeah, and interesting enough, the prediction was 10.8, and it's basically at that as of now. So yeah, probably might be a little bit higher here in the coming days.
yeah,
And yeah, it's interesting the global sales because you would think that Black Friday would be just a U.S. thing, but definitely other countries take advantage of the sale time and getting ready for Christmas and the holidays. And in
absolutely.
Canada, don't they call it Boxing Day?
I think Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, the
Oh, you're right.
26th.
You're right.
Mhm.
Yep.
This is an interesting stat that I came across. There's been an 8% decline in people shopping in the store. And I attribute this to the ease of just going online and picking up whatever you want. In addition to that, some of the Black Friday sales were started way before the week before. So people were getting those Black Friday deals a whole week early, and they're all able
Yeah,
to
we
get
I
them
was talking
online.
with some friends and business partners, and we were joking about how it's basically Black Friday week, and
Yeah,
pretty soon they're just going to call it
Black Friday month.
Q4 discounts because it's discounts all the way. I definitely took advantage of some sales on Black Friday and purchased a couple things. I got an Eero, which is a Wi-Fi extender on Amazon.
Oh,
Super a lot. Basically got a 4 pack for $200, and I think that's normally about 300. So
mhm.
saved $100 on that. And then got it some security cameras, couple sports things. Just I guess I should have been buying stuff for family and friends, but I bought a couple things that I needed for myself.
Well, that sounds good. I took advantage a lot of apparel, and there were some deals that came directly to my phone because I either had the app, like the Nike app or whatever, on my phone. So I took advantage of all of those. Obviously, with 4 kids in college, stocking up on apparel and also home goods.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yep. So they estimate about 152 million Americans participated in Black Friday, and of course, this figure comes starting from the previous Friday, so the week of Black Friday. It says here the average spender will spend $674. I think that that's low from my personal experience, but
Well,
But that's what they
and that's
say.
probably though just for those days. I'm sure we're not.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
It looks
That's
like it's,
just for the
across
Friday.
the top selling categories is what exactly you would think.
Yep.
Electronics, the adult children, basically, or just
Yeah.
adults in general, and kids, of course,
Yeah.
too. Video games, those are sort of things.
Yeah.
Apparel, nice
Hmm.
time to get some new clothes. I
Hmm.
remember being a kid and getting disappointed when I'd get socks or underwear for Christmas, but you do
Hmm.
need socks and underwear. And if someone wants to gift me some socks right now, that
You'll
would be
take it.
great. I do. I need some socks,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't need any toys though.
Yeah. Oh, and this is another statistic that I actually didn't cover last week. The amount of sales from mobile devices. So they're making a distinction between online being like on a PC, laptop, whatever, and your mobile device.
Yeah,
So I thought
it's
that was an interesting.
mobile is definitely the easiest way to consume right now
It
when it
is.
comes to
Absolutely.
content
I agree.
purchasing. And of course, you can shop deals like this at Niftmint Rewards. Go ahead and go to niftmint.com/rewards, or you can scan this QR code and you can start claiming, earning cash back, rewards, tokens. It's all there.
Yes.
All right. So we're still in the holiday spirit, but not for the right reasons. Aaron, we got to beware of holiday scams, don't we?
Absolutely. So holiday scams are on the rise. The crooks just keep getting better and better. So that means that we need to protect ourselves.
Yeah, the FBI tweeted this during Black Friday weekend. Hey, don't
Yeah.
let holiday excitement cloud your judgment. Always verify the legitimacy of online retailers and be cautious with unsolicited offers. Learn how to spot a holiday scam. And so we have a great guide for you of making
Yes.
sure that you are on top of it. So let's get right into that. So Aaron, take it away.
So, just in researching this topic right off the top, I would say that you know it's not it's both the consumer and the store that are losing money. Either the store doesn't get the money that from the item that was purchased, or the consumer is not getting the item that they ordered. In addition to that, the credit card fraud is accounted for $173 million in losses. I know I've dealt with this personally myself. You know, Luckily, a lot of the credit card companies do have fraud protection in place. I get a text message, did you make this purchase, so on and so forth. You can reply with a Y or an N, but this is a big deal, especially this holiday season.
Yeah, and we actually talk about this a lot when it comes to Niftmint, just this whole
Yes.
notion of fake websites, right?
Yeah.
So you go to a
Yes.
site thinking that you're going to the company that you want to purchase from, and sure enough, it's false. So either you get sent the wrong thing in the mail, you get sent a counterfeit good. You go to a high end luxury, or it doesn't even have to be a high end luxury. Stanley Cups we just read about
Yes.
today. They're based here out of Seattle, Washington. Stanley is those cups that people collect and drink out of, and so forth. Those big
Tumblers. Hmm.
tumblers, exactly. So what happened with them today, or that was announced today in the Seattle Times, is that when people were buying these Stanley Cups on Amazon, they were getting fake Stanleys, and so they were coming from vendors that basically misrepresented that they were
Hmm.
Stanley, or that they sold Stanley Cups.
That's
Um,
correct.
so that's so Stanley loses out on that because that's revenue that
Yeah.
would have gone to them. The customer loses out because they're getting a product that is inferior, is not the actual product itself, and maybe it doesn't have the same standards. Maybe it's made out of bad materials. Like, you just don't know. So,
Mhm.
to put a little plug into what Niftmint does, like that's why
Yes.
product like what we do at Niftmint is so important, because by creating a digital twin of the product and creating a tokenized, essentially replica, now you can prove that this product is the original. And what we do is we work with the manufacturer or the brand in this case to put something on the physical product to create a one-to-one relationship. So when you pick up that product, you know by scanning it with your phone and in the Niftmint application that you have the accurate product overall. And Aaron, it looks like credit card fraud accounts for $173 million in losses. The credit card companies probably feel a little bit of that. The companies themselves feel some of that. Not good all around.
Absolutely. And also gift card scams. They're on the rise.
Yeah, on the gift card scams, a lot of times what can happen there is you buy the gift card and someone gives you, they place a sticker on the card itself that scans to somewhere else. So you scan it thinking that you're loading your card, but you're really loading a copy of someone else's card, and they put either a UPC number on it that they stuck on it that's fake.
That's correct.
So what else do we need to look out for here?
Here, non-payment scams where the sellers don't receive payment for their shipped goods, or auction fraud, items are misrepresented. This is going back to the counterfeit problem that you discussed earlier. And then gift card fraud, payments via prepaid cards are stolen. Either stolen or altered to represent a fake UPC code on the back.
Gotcha. Yeah, no good on that.
I ran into something the other day with the non-delivery scams. I ordered something, it never arrived. I contacted the seller. They told me, oh, we'll just give you a 50% refund then. There was no intention of sending the item. So those scams are definitely on the rise.
No good at all. All right, so some things that you can do to make sure is make sure that you aren't clicking suspicious links. If you get an email and you think it might be from the brand, but it's not, those are things that you got to look out for. So you can click the expand button on the email subject line, for example, and look at who it's sent from. So if it's sent from a Gmail, that's your first red flag that you're not getting it from the actual company. But sometimes it might actually have the name of a company, but it's spelt differently. And they'll tell you something, no, if you click the link, or that's a different URL that we have in it, we drive it to the actual site. These are all things you have to watch out for. No brand would do that. No brand would send you a different link, but then drive it to the actual site, right? So
that's right.
Make sure you go into the direct. The safest thing that you can do, and fraud can still happen in this case, but the safest thing that you can do is buy direct from the consumer, direct to consumer, or direct from the brand. D2C is the brand side; they sell to the consumer. But by buying it directly from the brand, that's gonna be your safest bet. Again, to plug Niftmint, we make it even safer, and that's why we're working with brands on this. But aside from that, definitely go directly to the brand if you're able to.
And make sure that there's HTTPS in the URL that way you can trust the website.
Yes, definitely. And if you're going to shop overseas, nothing wrong with shopping overseas, but you do want to make sure again that it's coming from a trusted site. If you don't recognize the brand or don't recognize where it's coming from, doesn't mean that it's going to be fraudulent, but you want to trust and verify.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you don't want to wire money, right? If you wouldn't wire money to purchase something in the US,
correct.
Don't wire money to purchase something online, especially overseas. Not too many places that don't take credit card nowadays. And one of the reasons why it's, in paying with a credit card is most credit cards are going to have fraud protection on there. If you make a mistake, but once you wire or send money, that's gone. You can't get that.
Money's gone. Absolutely.
Yeah, And then do always make sure you track your orders. And with that, make sure you're tracking your actual orders. There are scams that go out there right now and that are happening right now. I get them sent quite to me often, where I'll get a text message saying that I have a package at the UPS store. And I know I don't have one, and two, if you look at the phone number or you look at the email that it's coming from, it looks really suspicious.
That's correct.
Go ahead, Aaron. So yeah, go ahead and report these sort of things to the FBI, or you can dispute these things with your bank. Monitor your credit card, especially right now, making sure that you're not getting any sort of strange payments, or strange charges.
And when you go through your
go ahead.
When you go through your credit card statement, at least on mine, it will show you the vendor, the price, and there's a little button you can go ahead and dispute it. Just click dispute, and the credit card company will send out a form. And one thing to know is that you have 90 days to dispute a charge on your credit card. And if the credit card company reaches out to the vendor and they don't respond, then they'll automatically credit back to your statement the cost of that item.
Great. Awesome. Well, stay vigilant and happy holiday shopping.
Absolutely.
Artificial intelligence has rapidly advanced and is driving innovation across industries, especially in commerce. However, as AI-generated content and products become more common, the lines between real and fake are blurring, making it harder for consumers to trust what they're buying. Tokenization is emerging as a solution to this problem, allowing brands to confirm the origin and authenticity of their products. By tokenizing digital assets, companies can embed key information, such as authenticity, warranty details, and even loyalty programs, ensuring that customers know exactly what they're purchasing and giving them confidence in the brand. In today's digital landscape, where AI can accelerate the risk of counterfeit products and experiences, tokenization provides a way for brands to build trust. Tokenization wraps a layer of code around a product or content, making it programmable and allowing key information to be stored securely. This means everything from authenticity to warranties can be easily verified, creating a more transparent and trustworthy customer experience. As we move toward a future where every physical product may have a digital twin, tokenization will play a key role in ensuring the authenticity of high-value items and everyday products alike.
Yeah, so this is a topic that I touch on a lot. This tokenization of physical products. But when it comes to AI, AI has really been a huge driver in content creation, whether that be through written content, video content, digital content, images, products, etc. And while this does make our lives easier at one side, there is a lot of opportunity for corruption and fraudulent activity to take place there. So we've seen everything from artists, like musical artists being replicated, drawing and painting artists being replicated. And so what has happened and will continue to happen is how products are actually faked using AI. So here you are purchasing something or looking at an image of something, and it's not actually done or created by the product. And by having this initial drawing or spec, now you can also manufacture against that fake good. So I believe that AI has only proven and accentuated the case of needing to have a tokenized product, because that's the only way that you can really know what's real versus what is fake. And that's the biggest issue here. So, Aaron,
Absolutely.
Feel free to elaborate or any thoughts that you might have.
No, I mean, in my favorite example of this is last year. You mentioned this before on another podcast, where there was everyone was like, there's a song that was a collaboration with Drake, and it was completely put together with AI, and then up for, let's send this up for a Grammy. The artist had no idea, had nothing to do with it. It was all created in AI.
Yeah, and on the product side, when you tokenize something, what you're doing is you're creating a point of origin. So
Mm-hmm.
every single brand, similar to having like a domain or a DNS, you go to the brand's domain site, and if you purchase something or do something from there, it's going to be coming from the brand. Same if you tokenize something. Essentially, the brand has their own crypto wallet, where the smart contract is created from. We're getting a little technical here. Mind you, with what Niftmint does, the brand does not have to worry about these things from a technical component, because that's what our product offering does. So we like to use a marketing term that we created around this called a token factory. So essentially, each brand has their own token factory or set of smart contracts, where products are created, these digital products, and they're referenced to the physical goods. So when you purchase a product from one of those brands, you can see its point of origin. So let's say you purchased a Rolex watch and you have a digital token of it, and that digital token does not come from Rolex, then that's your first red flag. Like, it might very well be a Rolex watch, but if it hasn't been authenticated digitally by Rolex, something happened in the chain of custody there that you should be wary of. So we very much believe in a world where every single product will have a digital twin to it, and that consumers will demand that the products that they have digital twins, because that'll be the best way that they know that it's been actually authenticated. So yeah, AI is going to continue to be, this type of problem if there isn't a source of record.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into our next topic. Last week we talked about mustard, and essentially we talked about how various brands did a really good job of being on the meme for this song with Kendrick Lamar called TV Off, where he yells mustard halfway through. We already did that, so you can watch last week's episode to learn about that. But what I wanted to touch on this week was some learnings and lessons that really come into place. So if you're a brand, you really need to have people on your team that are paying attention to popular culture, memes, what's happening on Twitter, what's happening on Reddit, what's happening on Instagram, TikTok. By being aware of these things, you now have the opportunity to jump on a trend and really build marketing and brand engagement with that. Doesn't mean that you're running an advertisement. You're actually engaging with users. You're posting on social. You're building your social following. So your cultural relevance is part of your connection. And in this Kendrick Lamar shout out, it really makes the brand feel relatable. And you laugh. It's funny, and really can foster a loyalty perspective and all that.
Absolutely.
Now, the other thing is you can get high engagement at an incredibly low cost. Like, this is all earned media, and it's all based off of the nature. A brand that does a really good job of this on Twitter is Wendy's. Definitely check out the Wendy's account. Whoever manages that Twitter does an excellent job and does some funny things, in that regard. And it's a really good way to get some organic reach in what you're doing. Millions of impressions. And not only is it impressions on the social site, but if media covers it, or it gets essentially put onto another social site, or news articles get written about it, etc., you get a lot of earned media with that. And agility wins. Being fast. The second these things happen, within a day, you really want to be producing this content to make that happen. The brands that we talked about, they operated incredibly fast on this. They had their teams working really quick. And sure enough, I'm sure they'll be on the next ones. So key takeaways for brands is spot the trend early and listen, act quickly, work with your creative team, be a part of the conversation and be authentic about it. And just evaluate, see how people reacted to it, and make sure that when people are posting or commenting on how you reacted, that you're also responding to that, and get with the mood of the meme. So if it's a playful
Mm-hmm.
meme, etc., stay within that character.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jaguar had this very, very interesting advertisement during the week of, I think this was 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we don't have to spend a ton of time talking about that because you probably have already seen it. The reason why we're bringing this up is because they went ahead and released this video this week of their concept car. That concept car is, pretty interesting there.
Yeah, it is.
Now, what I find interesting about this concept car, when it comes to a concept car, it's not, obviously, they're not going to ever produce that car. That's not what's going to be out on the market. But it measures and it shows people, what that car might look like. And, one thing that's really interesting, I thought the ad for Jaguar, the first one, was absolutely terrible in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I think it's terrible is because it's a complete 180 shift from how they traditionally market to their consumer. So the Jaguar customer, my guess, as someone who does product management and as someone who builds brands and builds brand strategy, the target customer for Jaguar, I would assume, does not identify with that commercial. Now, does that mean maybe that they're looking for a new customer overall? Or maybe they're just trying to build awareness. So this slide here is pretty interesting because if you look at this over the last several years, Jaguar searches are pretty flat. And then all of a sudden that commercial comes out and it spikes up dramatically there. So, I think when it comes to Jaguar and what they're doing, it's probably too early to tell, but it might just be like, hey, let's just get a bunch of awareness and we'll see what happens. If it's about getting customers, I'd be a little nervous for them because I don't know that the ad that they created, talks to who their target customer is. Aaron?
Yes, absolutely. So when I think of Jaguar, I think of that's the car brand that the Queen drove. That's the royals drove that car. For me, it's a very classic, streamlined, the feeling that you get behind that is one of luxury. And with the new car, with the concept car that they're coming out with the colors, I understand it's going to be an all electric vehicle. I understand that the colors that the actors wore in that commercial that you just played, those are going to be the colors, the new colors
Oh,
of the
interesting.
Jaguars. Yeah. Gone are the forest green, gone are the navy blue, gone are the beige colors that Jaguar is synonymous or known for. So it'll be a whole completely new branding, a complete new car coming out.
Yeah, and I'll double down on what I said, that it just really, when from a branding perspective, you always want to make sure that you're speaking to your core customer first. If you're not speaking to your core customer first, you run the risk of alienating and losing your core customer. So if the strategy is that, hey, we want to start fresh from zero, and we're trying to figure out who that new customer is or who our core customer is, maybe it's a good strategy, what they're doing. But outside of that, I would say, again, the core thing that you want to make sure that you're doing, if you're any brand, is you always serve your core customer first, and then you start thinking downstream to the next set of customers.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Well, let's end on Bitcoin.
Yes.
So Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you might be aware of Bitcoin has been going up quite a bit in the last couple weeks. It's basically up about almost 50%, or pretty much 50% in the last month or so, basically since Trump won the nomination, or not the nomination, won the election. And I bring this up as one, we are, we have been in the crypto industry for a number of years, but what's kind of interesting here is if you're familiar with who Michael Saylor is, Michael Saylor is the co-founder of MicroStrategy, and he's one of the biggest advocates for Bitcoin. He has purchased a large amount of Bitcoin for MicroStrategy since about 2021. And it's led to, an increased value in MicroStrategy. So, he thinks of it as the greatest digital transformation of the 21st century. And he actually went and spoke with Microsoft earlier this month. And basically, he thinks it's a way to increase Microsoft's value and have it, be like a $10 trillion company as a result. So through that conversation, spoke with them and wanted it to be something that would be brought up in the board, and the board recommended voting against it. But interestingly, the reason I'm bringing this up today is because today Michael Saylor tweeted, and he goes, "Looking forward to another session with Microsoft as their interest in Bitcoin deepens. The future is bright when innovation meets sound money. Stay tuned, big things to come." So clearly something has changed since they recommended not to. And it'll be really interesting because if Bitcoin, it's actually very common for brands or corporations to purchase stock, hold some of their treasury in stocks, not just their own stock. So for a company, to add Bitcoin onto its balance sheet, while doesn't really happen now, if a company like Microsoft does that, you can only imagine what that does, for Bitcoin overall.
Absolutely. They're going to diversify.
Yeah. Well, with that, we wrap up our second episode of the Showroom show, and we're really excited to keep this going. This is a weekly show. We encourage you to share this. Soon we will actually be inviting guests to join us on the show, people who are working in technology and commerce, people that work at brands, and these are going to be the biggest innovators that you know or have heard of. So definitely make sure that you're following along, and we got some really important things that are coming for 2025 that we'll start announcing next week, like doing shows in person as well as a showroom conference. So Erin, as always, thanks for keeping me company and joining in on the conversation. Any last words from you?
Nope. I just go out and shop, everybody, and enjoy the holiday season.
Yeah, and as always, make sure that you're following us across our socials. Yes. We're at Niftmint pretty much everywhere. And you can click on this QR code, go to Niftmint Rewards, and start earning right away. We'll see you all next time. Thanks so much.
Sounds great. Thank you.